The late-night thunderstorm swirled and rocked the car on the winding mountain road without mercy. It was nearly impossible to see through the blinding sheets of rain, and to complicate matters, the car that she had rented at the airport was an unusual model, having a dashboard layout with which she was wholly unfamiliar. It had taken her several minutes just to get the windshield wipers at full throttle, but she plunged on doggedly. It was much too late for second thoughts. The inn that she sought, according to her map, was practically hidden deep in the Appalachian Mountains. The last time that she had stopped for gas, the cashier at the station had warned her that it was foolish to try to reach her destination tonight. The wall of storms moving into the area was not far behind her. But she had thanked her and filled up the car, unwilling to be dissuaded from her goal. Aurora didn't consider for a moment that anything disastrous would befall her. The whispers in her mind told her differently. All would be well. She was protected. It was imperative that she reach the inn tonight. Pressing tentatively on the brake, she tried to further slow the car to avoid any skidding. She watched for the marker, the sign that signaled the road she would turn on, and then thankfully through the torrents of rain she spotted it. Black Hollow Road. Cautiously steering the car, she began the slow ascent up the side of the mountain. "Are you sure, Mr. Hallstrom, that you don't want me to stay tonight?" "No, Clara. I'm sure in this storm we won't be having any more patrons." She smiled at her employer, still feeling a bit befuddled by his sudden appearance earlier in the day. It was a rare occurrence for him to visit here. For Stephen Hallstrom, the rustic inn near the pinnacle of Black Hollow Mountain had been no more than a hobby that he paid little mind to. He had managed it from long-distance phone lines and faxes, maintaining a modest staff, which kept the rarely frequented establishment in tip-top working order. It was actually only during the summer months when the Black Hollow even remotely approached a busy season. Now it was the middle of October, Halloween just around the corner. As her employer had just expressed to 67-year-old Clara Mercer, it was extraordinarily unlikely that anyone would be looking for lodging tonight. "I could just close everything down, Mr. Hallstrom, if you like, just so you wouldn't be bothered." The aristocratic-looking man smiled warmly at Clara. "No, that's all right. I'm absent enough from this business. I think that I can manage things for one night. Go home, be with your family." She nodded, and struck again by that tinge of weariness, or rather she suspected indulgently sadness around his blue-gray eyes. In truth, she didn't know much about him, except that he came from an old family in the area, which, with the exception of him, had all but died out. From his looks, although she couldn't be certain, he appeared to be in his early to mid-40s and not married. This fact she gathered from gossip in the nearby town in the valley, where she often did her shopping. Of course, all in all, he was a bit of a mystery. No one really knew much about him, only that he spent most of his time out of the country. "Can you make it home all right, Clara?" "Yes, Mr. Hallstrom, thank you for asking. My house is just down the road, and I sincerely hope that my husband has dinner ready on a night like tonight." "Why don't you take some dessert home out of one of the freezers? There's bound to be something worthwhile there." "Yes, well, that's very kind of you, sir, to suggest it." She ambled back to the kitchen, her ankles swollen from the discordant weather. There was no need to let him know that this wasn't the first time she'd fed her family from the well-stocked pantries of the Black Hollow Inn. It would never be missed, and she had put in enough years here to warrant it. Distantly he heard the door slam as Clara Mercer left. He breathed a sigh of relief as he lit up a cigarette and watched the flickering embers in the fireplace of the lobby. He was surprised the storm hadn't blacked out the electricity. He inhaled the smoke and cleared his mind, preparing it for the coming onslaught. Yes, it was best there were no innocents about when the assassin arrived. He wondered with tremendous focus of thought who would be sent this time. This has been Dragonflies, Journeys into the Paranormal, written by Evelyn Klebert, narrated by Evelyn Klebert. 2006, copyright Evelyn Klebert. Recorded 2015, Cornerstone Book Publishers.